Hello, my fellow travelers. Thank y'all for tagging along with a vertical farming researcher, aka me, William Gleason. It's been a month. I'm just gonna say that straight up. A chaotic month for the state of Texas. As we all know, there was a winter storm. We lost a week of school, and then we lost an extra week of school. Except we were on an online format the second week of school. But anyways, it kind of set us back a lot, not just in AP research. Well, yeah, in AP research a lot, but just like in every aspect of life. But yeah, I feel like AP research especially because apparently we were already on a time crunch and now we're on an extra time crunch because of the lost week and kind of lost week again with the asynchronous stuff. But I feel like we're pulling through now and we're finally getting back on schedule. So that's a good thing. But yeah, basically during the asynchronous, which is like the online format, week of school, we were delving into the academic paper portion and like learning like the contents of it and like what to expect from each content of it. And yeah, and during this week, I was actually it was like a couple days before the asynchronous, I was finally able to get some qualitative data, which is what I was really excited about. I don't know if I said this on no. The last vlog was before the winter storm, which feels like forever ago. But anyways, basically the representative of Arrow Farms like contacted me and was like telling me that my questions that I had for her were like too advanced. So she referred me to this USDA panel where one of the chief officers, not executive, but it was one of the chief officers, was going to be on there and I could directly ask a question to him. So I asked those questions to him and he responded, and it actually really helped me because basically he was describing that the rural communities that I'm studying need to adopt, I guess like vertical farming or like controlled environment agriculture technology, CEA technology, in order to survive in the future economy. Or else pretty much they'd suffer. Those were kind of the conclusions that I was able to draw. So that was able to like provide provide closure for my research, although it's not everything that I would have liked. I would have preferred to have like an interview with a representative of Arrow Farms or a company of the like, but not everything goes the way that we're expecting. So I was disappointed. Anyways, so then there was the asynchronous week. We learned about the different aspects of the academic paper. We went back for 1 week, and that week we wrote our method section in one class period. So that was a little chaotic, but I pulled through. My method section was actually very lengthy. It probably a little longer than it should have been. However, it's just very difficult to describe all the steps needed to be taken in a mixed method explanatory, ordeal, because I have to explain both the qualitative and the quantitative aspects. And then I have to explain, I have to justify them both. I have to justify, why I need both, justify both elements of them, and kind of like describe how like the qualitative builds off of the quantitative. So yeah, that was a bit challenging to a point. Definitely ran over into homework. There's not a lot of homework in that class, just as long as you do it in class. But things happen, and that's completely natural. And I'm guessing that that's about to happen soon because we're about to write the rest of our academic paper in the coming days and in the coming weeks. In my methodology section, I would say it was a very thorough analysis of the methodology. We also did peer review, so I got insight from my peers, although a lot of it was more so that I tend to write run-on sentences. But the contents, they really enjoyed. I was describing kind of like what I've been talking about over these weeks, just the usual shebang where I'm studying these municipalities, and then I narrow it down to these variables, and then I create these graphs, and then I described the interview process, not what happened, because that would be in the result or the finding section, but just kind of what should have occurred. And then I'll clarify that in the next section of my academic paper, what actually happened. So we'll see about that. And then there was spring break. So spring break. And then this past week, which is the last week of the marking period, the grading period, we were doing these like slide deck presentations where we announced to our class our data findings. So we prepared these slideshows, the slideshow, and it was pretty much kind of like how our paper is supposed to be set up. However, the main portion of it that we were looking for is kind of like presenting our data in a more graphical way. And I think this was actually a really good exercise personally because, I guess for more people, the other kids more so than me, because I had already transformed my data table for my at least my quantitative section in a like visual manner. Like I took the different variables that I studied and then compared them against each other and then created these nice graphs. I think I showed it in a vlog. I'm not sure. But yeah, they're sorry, excuse me. These graphs really did show a lot of correlation between trends, and I was able to analyze kind of that change in population has a direct correlation with the change in median income of a place, and that in these municipalities, their economy relies heavily on agriculture, and if that's taken away, then there would be an economic ruin for these communities, and we would see, obviously, a flight of people, leaving for urban areas. I also discussed how the majority of workers in traditional farming consist of Hispanic immigrants, and they actually contribute to the poverty rate of these sections. So I was able to kind of describe in my findings, like my conclusions, that would be the demographic of people that would be hurt the most by competition from vertical farming. And so anyways, I was able to, implement these graphs and these findings into my slideshow. And in my slideshow, I also mentioned the qualitative aspect, and I pulled from the Instagram TV series. I believe I talked about that already, and the response from the USDA panel, and was able to conclude that, like, hey, this is what would happen. I basically was saying, like, this is what would happen to communities if they don't adopt new technology, which is basically economic ruin and, migration to urban areas. But if they do adopt vertical farming or some method of controlled environmental agriculture, they would actually have a much better socioeconomic condition than they're currently in, because their current socioeconomic condition, this is what I concluded in the findings, is not an optimal condition. Like, most agriculture workers are just below the poverty line, and just the overall like economic condition of the municipalities isn't that great. But if these workers in agriculture shifted to a more modern, with technology, with vertical farming, controlled environment, their salaries would actually increase almost threefold. So that is actually incredible, and it would just overall boost the economies of these regions. However, we're unlikely we'll see that. But yeah, I honestly think that this slide deck presentation thing was a really good option for us to do, because I was able to write down my conclusions, because I had my conclusions in my brain, but I didn't really write it down until the slide deck presentation. So now I will know what to write on in the academic paper, which is what I'm really happy about, because now I have a flow to it. And the way I organized it in my presentation was, I kind of was like, this is what it's currently like. This is what's going to happen with the introduction, unless they do this. And that's how I transition away from my basis and my quantitative data into my qualitative data. So I was just I was writing this and I was like, yes, because I realized I made it all connect in the way that I wanted it to connect. And so now I know I have this new profound understanding of my research, of my original research, and I'm just so happy about that, obviously, because I score on the rubric, but that's not it, just because this is my own creation. This is my own original research, and I don't know, it was kind of a good week in regards to that. But yeah, anyways, that pretty much concludes the course of my past month. Next marking period, apparently there's not gonna be any vlogs, so this will be my last vlog, y'all. Will miss it. But yeah, we're just gonna be writing the academic paper and doing our presentation, which is apparently like 15 minutes long. But I ramble so much that it'll be fine. I will be fine. Anyways, I hope that everyone watching this is doing well on their AP research, and just keep up the good work, and y'all will be willing to succeed. Thank y'all. Goodbye.